Let's start.
Good day to you all. This is Group 10 with Sandra Madzima, Lesley Maniwa, Douglas Mabuto, and myself, Moyo. We'll be presenting on our CTI tool, grain noise. So, grain noise is used to filter the internet noise out of the alert stream with context about noisy mass internet scanners and common business services. It is done by capturing, analyzing, and classifying data into IPs that scan the internet and saturate security tools with noise. So, for us to understand how gray noise works, it has sensors all around the world that tell you what IPs are scanning the internet on a daily basis. When the sensors detect scanning activity from an IP address, the service records the behavior it observes from the IP, along with the related context about what it knows about the service. So you can use gray noise for searching for the internet noise and filtering from the internet noise and the alert stream, and using the IP address, using tags, using the actor, using organization name, using port number, using the path or the user and the agent. So the best thing about gray noise is that you can really download the IP addresses that are available that are posing a threat to the internet. And it can auto-complete queries for you, and you can also have a cheat sheet to use when using gray noise. So for you to have this gray noise online too, you have to visit www.graynoise.io. Over to you, Douglas.
Thank you. So we are already on our grid. As you can see here, the graynoise.io. So for our presentation, we set so is probably our IT professionals have picked up a website on their firewall or an antivirus, and they've picked up a website there. So we now want to convert that website address, that URL, into an IP address. So in this case, we're just going to use an example of the CAT website, which is www. So we're going to ping this IP address so that it can be resolved into this. We are going to ping the URL so that it can be resolved into an IP address. So we're going to ping www.cat.ac. The W. Already you can see there that so CAT might have just blocked pinging on their website, but we are here. We just want the IP address. So this is the IP address that we got: 197.155.226.212. So now we're going to take this IP address, and then we just want to run it through our CTI tool to see if it's blacklisted or if it's not blacklisted. Okay, so I'm just going to copy it here. Then I'm now coming to my gray noise. So here you can see that we can put an IP address, we can put an actor, or we can put a tag. So in this case, we're putting an IP address. So I'm just going to paste it here. Then I'm going to search. So if there has been any malicious traffic that has been coming from Cat University to the internet, then it would have been flagged here, and it would have been picked as a potential threat on the internet. So as we can see here, there's no potential threat. So what we're now going to do, we just got to see other threats that are already listed on gray noise and what they're potentially doing on the internet. So these are the trends. We pick the option here, trends, because this application is these tools on the internet continually checking what's happening on the internet, who's sending who's sending what. So these are the suspected behavior that is on the internet. So we've got this ZY Zell router worm that is being sent, and it has been picked. So we're just going to see, just check what exactly is happening there. So this worm, it's just showing here that this worm has been activated or has been on the internet for the past 3 days, as we can see by the graph here. On the 3rd of November, around 4 p.m., that's when it started sending out. This worm started being published up to today, and then now when it shows that because it has been identified, and some companies might have now known that there's something like this that is going around, or companies that do antiviruses or firewalls have identified that there's something like this that is happening. They've probably blocked their firewalls, or they've probably made a purge for the antivirus, which shows that there's some mitigation that is there. So we're just going to try to find here to see the activity that has been happening here. Okay. All right. So it's a worm. So on our options here, it's not really showing more information. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and download the list of IP addresses that have already been tagged, because I think here, because it's just 3 days, there isn't much information that we can pick. So I'm just going to download a list from the CSV file from the already existing flags that have been there already. So I'm downloading the CSV file. So as an IT security person for a company, you can pick this list, and you can use it to block, probably on your proxy server or on your router, to block traffic coming from this potentially hazardous websites. So now we've got the IP address. It's already been flagged. So now what we want to do is we just want to identify which website it's coming from, because obviously sometimes our users are using these websites probably for they're purchasing something, and they're already using this website. So we want to block this website, and we so that people do not use the website, because sometimes people are going on to pornographic sites. Sometimes people are just doing some online shopping, but behind those online shopping, someone is using doing some malicious behavior. So I'm just going to paste here website. I'm just going to search who the IP address belongs to. Okay. So it's searching for me. Okay, we don't want to subscribe to that. All right. So in this particular case, this website, it's called Haifa, and it's in Israel. And this is the company that is using, or that is subscribed to the URL or the domain. And there isn't much information here in terms of who is hosting it, but already we know that this website or this company is in Israel. So one of the benefits of knowing the location and the companies that are sending malicious behavior to the internet is that some of these companies might be companies that we deal with, and they are overseas, and we are at another location, and they've got probably some viruses that are being published from their company, and we are dealing with these companies, and we are at the risk of losing money or losing our data from these companies. So when we have the URL and we have the IP address, we can now go onto our systems and block these IP addresses or block these websites so that our users within the system may not access these websites or these IP addresses. Thank you. This is all from our presentation on the gray noise tool. Are there any questions?
Oh, yes, thanks, Douglas. So I just have one question in terms of people who might be using VPNs. How does one get to identify their IP address or to identify such a particular person when someone is using a VPN to hide their uh, internet movement?
Okay, I'll try and answer that, and if anybody else has more to add, they can always add. So, like Douglas mentioned, so gray noise is just one of the tools that can be used, and I mean, if you were to go back to the question where you said a VPN, and I get you, a VPN is supposed to be masking the attacker. Um, but ultimately, for a VPN to have contact with the outside world or with the rest of the internet space, there is need of what we call a public IP. And usually, your internet service provider is responsible for setting up your VPN, or whoever your VPN provider is. They can tell who is using a particular public IP. So in a situation where there has been a cyber crime and people have interest, like real interest in finding out, I think there can be a collaboration for the internet service provider to reveal who the public IP belongs to. And then once the company has been identified, other tools can now then be used within the LAN to find out from which particular device the threat was coming from. So gray noise works as part of a chain. It can work with many other cyber intelligence tools that are out there, and other forensic tools that can be used. And also, just to mention that there are different types of VPNs, different qualities of VPNs. There are free VPNs, but obviously those free VPNs, there's always something in it for them. And it could be that they've got loopholes which might leave the attacker exposed. That would be my response. If anyone wants to add more, they can jump in.
Okay, thank you, Sandra. In addition to what Sandra has said, it is also important to remember that when using gray noise, you don't only use IP address. Our example was focused on IP address, but you can use tags. You can use the actor, the name of the organization. You can use port number or user agent. So you can really use it, even though the person is using a VPN. That's my contribution. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, Joyce. I don't know if there are no further questions. That this brings us to the end of our presentation. I don't know, Douglas, do you have anything else to say?
Okay. So just to add a bit, so there is an organization or a group of where service providers are registered. So if your IP address is flagged, you can report it to this board, and this board will blacklist the IP address. So when the IP address is blocked, then your service provider will also now fail now to move traffic from that IP address. So only when you have cleaned, probably it's a virus or it's a worm in this case, that's when you can now, this board will then allow you for that IP address to be able to now start communicating with the rest of the world. Thank you.
Thank you for listening to our presentation, and thank you, Group 10, for the wonderful, informative presentation. This brings us to the end. Thank you.
Thanks, Sandra.